as well as our next guest, the great John Fanta, Northeast Ohio's own. Johnny, where are you? You're in New Jersey? Are you in New Jersey right now?
I am in Denville, New Jersey, right in my backyard bowl. It's in the 70s. But first and foremost, congratulations on 1,000. Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show has changed the landscape in Cleveland sports coverage. I believe that. And it's been an honor to join you guys a variety of times. This show it's original, it's fresh, it's different, it cuts through. And as a lifer, as a Cleveland sports lifer, I appreciate you guys. And I always thank you for having me, but I love your show. And congratulations. 1,000 shows is historic. It's really amazing.
We appreciate that,
love you,
John.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate that. We love you. We love having you on. And in fact, I was listening to you. I know you go on with my buddies Ken and Jonathan. And I told them to give you a shout out. By the way, John's in my fantasy baseball league. He's a rookie in my fantasy baseball league. And usually rookies get destroyed in our league. And as of yesterday, I think John was in either second or third place. He's kicking butt to start the year. He's doing really well. But I heard they asked you about Evan Mobley versus Chet Holmgren. And you said Holmgren slightly better, but very close. I texted Mike and Jason. I was like, do you agree with John? And Mike goes, as usual, John Fanta is right on the money. Holmgren slightly better, but it's close.
It's close, and Holmgren has the benefit of some of the pieces around him. But it's time for Evan Mobley to prove that he's better than Chet Holmgren, that he's better than a lot of people. And when I was asked earlier this week, and now I'll tell you guys, this is my playoff stake. And if there's pushback, push back. The guy with the most pressure on him would be the guy that whatever team he's on, he'd have the most pressure on him. That's Donovan Mitchell. Because if you're going to be a top 10 to 15 player in this league, whatever that is, you have to perform when the lights are bright. And you've been in this league for close to a decade. So in the general postseason, Donovan Mitchell's got the most pressure on him because he hasn't made a conference finals, and the Cavaliers are talented enough to make the conference finals. They are. I find it poetic that they very likely have to go through the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference semifinals, that they have to go up against the coach that they fired, that they said was the problem. And now how much have you grown as an organization? If you have grown, then you go out and you beat the Detroit Pistons, who beyond Cade Cunningham are limited offensively. Now, in this series with the Toronto Raptors, Evan Mobley has a spotlight on him. Evan Mobley should be the difference maker. Now, Scotty Barnes is going to pick up Mobley, I think, defensively. Barnes and Mobley, for those who don't know this, since they were both drafted, they've guarded each other more than they've guarded any other player in the NBA. Get that. Oh. In terms of possessions, if you track the analytics, Mobley and Barnes have spent the most time on one another. The problem for Toronto is Barnes, he's taken on James Harden in the past from a defensive matchup standpoint. There's only one Barnes for the Raptors defensively. So one of the things that Toronto has looked to do is they've said, you know what, we'll put Barnes on Mobley, and Barnes can be our rover. Because Evan's limited offensively, we'll have him guard somebody else. This is Mobley's time to say, no, you can't be the rover. You can't help off. I'm going to take this upon myself. I'm going to help lead this team, and I'm going to show you that I've grown as an offensive basketball player. Go out and show it, Evan.
Yeah, he's right.
You know, Fanta, I'm not an Evan Mobley hater. I just need, to me, I said the last segment, I said, listen, he's a high-value role guy, and he's the ultimate X factor. If Evan Mobley decides to show up, it puts you at a different level where it's a bit, now other guys can relax a little bit because Evan Mobley is doing something offensively. I believe that for the Cavs to reach where they want to go, if they want to win a championship, Evan Mobley has to be a really X factor. But to me, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden have to beat Kyrie and LeBron. They have to be, hey, if we need to get 40 tonight, that's what we're going to do. And Harden, I love the fact that he is facilitating, but he has to also come out and look aggressive to put his team in position. I don't think he can wait for 4 or 5 games for Evan Mobley, or wait till Jared Allen turns it on. I think that those two need to come out and be like, hey, by any means necessary, we need to be the Malcolm X's of the Cavs. By any means necessary, get it done and figure it out. If we need 30, we got to get 30 tonight.
Donovan Mitchell and James Harden have to be what Cavs fans and what the Cavs front office thought Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland would be. That's what's got to happen. James Harden is here for a reason. And the biggest reason is the Cavs knew that they didn't have a chance at a championship as they were constructed heading into the trade deadline. So they made a change. They went and got a guy who's made all-star game appearances a common theme for his career, a guy who's one of the best bucket getters in his time. So you have two guys. The playoffs, to me, is about, okay, teams are ratcheting it up defensively. It's different. The playoff basketball is so different. And when the Cavaliers have been defended well, like they were against the Indiana Pacers, how did that go for them? Their offense was predictable. Their offense was vanilla. It wasn't good enough. You knew who was going to have the basketball in their hands, and you knew anything that they got from their supporting cast was going to be a surprise, a la Ty Jerome last postseason when he had that one-off performance. So the Cavaliers, they go out and get James Harden. You get James Harden to do exactly what you just said, Garrett, to ball out with D. Mitch and combine for 70 points. 65 points, 60 points, whatever it might be. If it's not just scoring, it's assisting, it's creating, it's all that. He's got to go out and be that guy. And he's gotten a bad playoff rap. And I'm not trying to make excuses for him. But he's been in the West. The West is a different ball game, guys. The Western Conference playoffs, those series are going to feel like some of those series are going to feel like Western Conference finals in the first and second rounds of the playoffs. James took the Nuggets to Game 7 last year. If you watch that series, did he have a bad Game 7? Yes, he did. But he was very good throughout much of that series. And Denver's got Nikola Jokic, who I think when Jokic plays his best game, he's the most valuable player in the NBA. Maybe not right now next to Victor Wembanyama. So the fact is, James Harden is here for this moment. It's now or never for these Cavs. And I agree. Like, we could talk all we want about complementary players. The playoffs is about you're getting defended well. You need multiple dudes who can go get theirs. The Cavaliers have two of the best pure scorers in the NBA.
John, let's switch to the Browns. Have you settled on a player that you want them to take at 6, or do you have a move you want them to make at 6?
Well, it better be offense, Jason Lloyd. And I think they should keep the pick. I'm not in favor of trading down. And look, there's a couple of options that I'm intrigued by. You know, for me, I've been interested by Caden Proctor. I've been interested by Francis Maui-Noah. Maui-Noah, if you look at his numbers and what he did as a 3-year starter, did not allow a single sack in 2025, a 1.6% pressure rate for the Miami offensive linemen. To me, you know, it's staring the Browns in the face to go and get an offensive lineman to fulfill that O-line and find somebody who can be your left tackle of the future. In terms of the wide receiver room, you know, I don't think Carnell Tate is going to be there. I think 24th overall is where you zone in on a receiver. We know the names that are out there. Omar Cooper Jr., what intrigues me about him is he played a bunch of different roles in Indiana for Curt Cignetti in his offense, and he can move the sticks. I mean, he did that time and again for Indiana. The Browns need help moving the ball down the field. It's simple as that, because that's been an offense they've been going the wrong direction. Jordan Tyson of Arizona State, you know, there's been a lot of buzz around him. You look at what he was able to do this past year and the past couple of years. Like, they had an offensive design that allowed him to get in open space, and when he got in open space, he made things happen, and he scored touchdowns. No Big 12 player has caught more passes than Jordan Tyson over the last 2 years. And the Big 12 is a league in college football with wide receivers aplenty. Guys that go and get theirs and that eat. That the Big 12, you watch a Big 12 football game on a Saturday, you're going to see one thing, points. Yeah. Nobody did a better job of getting the football and helping his team produce points than Jordan Tyson. So if I'm the Browns, I go and get an offensive lineman at number 6. Whatever route they go with there, I would. This was an off-season priority. Go and get alignment. Caleb Lemieux out of Utah. I've seen some very good things. Watching a little bit of tape on him and heard some good things. Obviously, he's another guy. I myself am interested by Maui Noah because I watched that kid a ton, and I thought he was just so legit and so tough, and he's a huge reason why Miami had the season that they posted this past year. He was such a dynamic player, and I think he's versatile enough that he could make the move to left tackle. But the DeJuan Jones elephant in the room has been just that. It's been a disaster. Too many injuries. The Browns need to walk into next season and say, our quarterback play cannot be our quarterbacks and our people in our building can't be saying there's not enough protection. There's not enough this. You got to protect your quarterback, whoever that may be. Shore up this offensive line at 6, then go get your receiver at 24.
John, you got to protect the arms of pitchers, which made me nervous going into the 9th inning. I was worried they were going to pull Parker Messick out of the game. They don't. John, a slow roller to second base ends the no-hitter. That was such a heartbreaker, but a great performance. Give me your thoughts on Parker Messick and what he did last night.
Well, baseball brings people together.
Yep.
And I'll tell you guys a story that I always think about when somebody's flirting with a no-hitter in Cleveland. My dad, one of his first jobs was to be a person that stood at the old municipal stadium, and it's a hard job to explain. He would basically steer people the other direction when they tried to go upstairs to the games that nobody would go to. So he would say, hey, this section's closed off tonight, which, as you guys know better than me, the old municipal stadium was cavernous and would have, a lot of people, a lot of Indians fans would try to find their way, especially young couples would try to find their way to the upstairs to do whatever activities they wanted to on a Friday night. Well, Dad wasn't working on this night back in 1981 when Len Barker threw that no-hitter for the Tribe. The last one, but I instantly thought of him as this was happening last night because as a kid, I was born in 95, but I've never seen this. I've never seen the no-hitter. So every time it starts to come up, you hear about Lenny Barker and the legend of Len and all the Clevelanders who said they were at that game. And I was looking last time, watched the game. I'm like, this is a similar crowd. It's not a huge weeknight crowd, but they're there and they're making a lot of noise. I wanted it so bad. I know you guys all did too. But the point is, if he didn't get it last night, Parker Messick could be the one to break it. Parker Messick has been as good as any pitcher in baseball at this point. The Guardians factory has produced yet another one, and this Guardians team is going to win the American League Central Division. I feel it.
That's high confidence. I like that. It's funny. Coming into the season, I was most worried about the hitting, and I still have some concerns about the lineup. But Jason and I were talking yesterday, a little antsy about the bullpen right now.
I'm antsy about it too.
Yeah.
And it's been a Bull, would you agree? It's been a while since I felt this antsy about a bullpen.
A long time for the Guardians, a number of years, yeah.
It's really not like them. But, and I know people are going to laugh at this take, if there's one thing that the Guardians could trade for or could do, it would be to shore up your bullpen. I know that those are hot commodities, but I hope so. That you better. If this continues to be an issue and you're still in a good place, like we all know, the starting position player, the Lane Thomas type acquisition that they've done, if your bullpen's having issues, that loses you playoff games. That loses you games.
Doubt.
But you look back, guys, like. This is where the Class A thing, you just knew when that happened that was going to open up doorways that you didn't want to have to go through. And it feels like we didn't feel the symptoms immediately off that. And it was like, man, they're such a pitching force. They'll figure it out. But they're clearly, they got guys that are either pitching up to another role. They got guys who right now are struggling to find it. I'll be interested to hear what Eric Sabrowski has to say. And Gadd is coming off the injury. I know his velo was a little bit, of a question mark when he was rehabbing and whatnot. You got a great catcher defensively in Hedges. The lineup's been, this lineup's deeper than people thought, and I think it's a fascinating lineup. It's a fun lineup to watch because you got young pop in this lineup. And Angel Martinez has been a nice surprise. But yeah, I am concerned about the pen, and that can cause you to lose 5 to 10 games that you should have won. So it is a concern.